Good morning, Daniel. Morning, Callum. Morning, Helen. Morning, Daniel. Apologies. Morning, Tiani. Morning, Kobe.
Morning.
Good morning. How many kids do you have, Kobe?
I have two daughters.
Wow.
Yeah,
What ages?
9 and 12.
Nice,
So it
nice.
is school holidays, so thank you for that.
Yes, yeah, I remember that from yesterday. So, um, have you got someone taking care of them, or are they
Yeah,
occupied?
yeah, my husband took some time off.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Cool. Is this paid time, Kobe, or is this sort of outside work and you're just doing it because you love it?
No, this is paid.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. How awesome is that? You get paid to hang out with me. Ha ha ha. Oh, that's cool. No, should we let Bridget in? I don't know. Got to think about that one.
Hi, morning, Mark.
Good morning, good morning. Who am I talking to?
Oh, it's me, Bridget.
Oh, there you are, Bridget. Sorry.
I just realized I've spelt my name correct this morning. Yesterday, all day, I spelt my first name wrong, and no one wanted to let me know. So,
Well, I didn't want to make you feel self-conscious, you know?
they said I was already in a bit of a tizzy in the morning, so they didn't want to let me know I also spelt my name wrong.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
beautiful. I love that. That's awesome. Bit of a tizzy, yeah. Bit of a tizzy. India just messaged say her Zoom crashed. We don't want that. We certainly don't want that. Yes, Zoom doing its thing that it does, doing its thing. Um, cool. Is Jessica around? Where is Je there we
She's
are.
just
Jessica is in
exiting.
the house. She's just entered. She's bringing her heart, of course. How many heart metaphors and analogies can I come up with? Probably too many already. Yes, I tried doing that for myself as well, but fixing the camera didn't improve my looks in any way, shape, or form. Just didn't help. No matter what filters I tried, just didn't help. Ah, is Justin here? Justin is here. Fantastic. Awesome.
Morning, Mark.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, team.
Yes. As the Truman Show says, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and Bridget says, hi, Mark, just needs to shut down her camera, is inactive. Yes, yes, we can try that too. Yes. Um, hmm, fun times with Zoom. I should add I should add a chapter to my book. Funny occurrences on Zoom. That'd be funny. Awesome. So we will just wait till everybody gets set up. Yeah, very cool. Cute dog. Alrighty, we'll wait about 10 more seconds, very subjective 10. And then we'll jump into it. And there we are. India is in the house. Excellent. Alrighty. Cool. Alrighty, if you're good to go, drop an R in the chat. Let me know that you're ready. If you still need more time, we're starting anyway. Just kidding. Yeah, we'll jump into it. Awesome. On that note, folks, let's drop in a yes in the chat if you can hear me and see me, and we are good to go. We are good to go there. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and bring up our notes straight away there. And what we're going to do, we're going to have a think about the last couple of days. So, first of all, your journey is starting off so well. I am really, really impressed with the quality of the deliveries and what you guys have sent through over the last couple of hours with your presentations and PowerPoints for today. Drop an I in the chat if you've possibly been impressed by other people's presentations and maybe even what you've achieved as well, but more so focusing on other people because we've seen some really great stuff, right? So well done, well done, well done. So just coming back, we had a look yesterday at around the idea of the whole cognitive load. We also looked at some of the phrases yesterday. We also looked at a bit of the difference between coaching and mentoring and some principles around that. We looked at the control questions, and we also looked at essentially your key takeaways from day one there. But we're going to head straight into a breakout room. And what I would love you to do is simply share with your partner or partners. There will be a group of let me just add that person in. There'll be a group of 3, there'll be a group of 2, and we're just mixing things up a little bit here. What I'd love you to do is simply share with your partner what is one of your major takeaways from yesterday or the day before, and what are you discovering, what are you realizing from your deliveries? So it could be, it's not as hard as I thought, or yeah, I'm slowly getting used to the technology, or I'm discovering how to use some of the phrases, or I'm discovering why Mark does what he does, or it could be anything at all. Simply share with your partner what's 1 or 2 things that you've discovered over the last couple of days that have really stood out to you, and just share your key learnings so far. On that note, folks, head to your rooms and I'll bring you back in about 2 minutes. Just have a good quality digestive chat there. I'll see you back very shortly. Go for it, team. Awesome. Welcome back, team. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. On that note, we're going to come over to Bridget. If you go ahead, unmute yourself and share with the crew here. One thing that you share with your partner, anything at all, could be something you discovered as you presented or a piece of content that we've covered so far. Bridget, over to you. Go for it.
Hi Mark. My takeaway is if you don't get the answer you want, change the question. And I've had a bit of personal experience with that now, training new recruits or recently graduated recruits, and you can see that blank look on their face when you're teaching them content. And so really trying to understand their facial expressions and then rephrasing that question.
I like it. I like it. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Love it. Callum, over to you. Go for it. And we'll acknowledge all at the very end there. Callum, go for it.
I think we both took away a lot from those control questions,
Mm,
and how flexible they are. So you can use them personally. You can provide them to someone you're coaching to ask those questions of themselves, but you can also ask them collaboratively as well, um, and answer them together with the person you're coaching.
very cool. Very cool. Love it. Kiani, over to you. Go for it.
Hi, Mark. So for me, the main thing is having flexibility within the actual sessions themselves, to either simplify or include the level of detail specific to the content that you wanted to be delivering to the audience. Obviously, we're only doing it for a single person at the moment, but based on the subject matter, I think some things require a lot more information, and then other things you really can just simplify and have main points to have bang when you're delivering it. So yeah, that's my big takeaway.
Yeah, nice. Well said. Very cool. Very cool. And actually ties in something we're going to talk about this morning. Very cool. Helen, over to you. Go for it.
I really like the idea of self-reflection, being able to take away your performance for the day and potentially benefit yourself by making things better for the next performance. But also, it's been really nice seeing, obviously, now that we've done the presentation, seeing all the content that we've learned over the past week kind of come together, and obviously seeing exactly how you kind of utilize this through everything that you do. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, nice. Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Really cool. Danny, over to you. Go for it, Danny.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Probably that the answers are in the silence is something taking away from yesterday. As somebody who likes to talk a lot, that's good. Good to reinforce myself in the learning with the learner as well. Yeah, so less is more. Answers are in the silence was my takeaway.
Very cool. Very cool. I love it. Justin, over to you. Go for it.
Good morning, Mark.
Morning.
So for me, it was the fractionated questions in the control section. I quite like that. Being able to at least control a section or any contentious subject matter. I think that's really important. So I've revised a couple of slides to include that. And also like the mentoring plan. I've got a few people I mentor, and I also have mentors, but none of us use a plan like that. So that's something I'm going to implement.
Sweet. I love it. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Really cool. And Kobe, over to you. Go for it, Kobe.
Good morning, everyone. I liked a lot of the phrases to check in with the learner. More importantly, just the simple, does that make sense? I feel like it gives the learner a chance to actually catch up and gather their thoughts and ask anything before moving on.
Really cool. Really cool. Love it. And I think our next person is potentially, who have I missed? Who have I missed? India. India, over to you. Go for it, India. What you got?
Morning, everyone. I guess it's been interesting seeing just the breakdown of the structure of the coaching of like the sessions for individual and group scenarios. And it's pretty cool how it's applicable for any topic that you want to deliver. You just sort of sub out what you want to teach.
Very cool. Very cool. And just be aware, everyone, we're just laying the groundwork, and each day we're going to be revealing more, which is super cool, right? And the cool thing about feedback and I guess sharing content is that as we progress and as you guys develop skills and as you become ready for the next thing, then I give you the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. But at the end of the day, we never want to overteach. When someone's not ready for something, then it's going to be too soon. Just drop a yes in the chat if that makes sense to you. And it just really comes back to the art and science of scaffolding, right? And by Friday, you are going to have so many insights and discoveries. You will be so shocked and surprised, but we are just laying the groundwork one step at a time, which is fantastic, right? Just drop a yes in the chat if you have shared. If you haven't shared, drop a not yet, but I think everybody has shared. If I've missed anyone, I apologize for that. But I think, Daniel, I apologize for that. Daniel, over to you, sir. Let's make sure. Daniel, we want to hear your insight, your discovery. Go for it, Daniel. What you got?
My takeaway from yesterday was the usefulness of those phrases that were provided, the ones for engagement with the learner, the whole does that make sense? Would you agree that it's an open template to start discourse between yourself and the learner, and it gets engagement running between yourselves, especially the problem elicitation ones. We can start off with would you agree it would be a problem if, and then you can tie that straight into your subject. And I think that's really useful.
Nice. Nice. I love it. Really, really cool. That is a fantastic one. That's awesome. Love it. All right, fantastic, everyone. Let's acknowledge everyone's shares and let's go on AJ in the chat. Awesome job. Really, really appreciate it. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and discoveries so far. Really appreciate that. So, on that note, not yet, but in a moment, we're going to head into a topic about confidence. Everyone, drop a C for confidence in the chat box for me if you could, please. Now, before we go into that topic, though, I do want to just let you know that I did find a thing on the internet, so to speak. I did find the link for that video that I mentioned yesterday, which was the advice monster, how to tame your advice monster there, and which kind of links in really nicely to coaching. So I'm going to email that link out later today for people that want to watch that video. It is a really, really insightful video, and it's going to really create some great discussion around the topic and spark some interesting conversations in teams as well. So you may want to definitely check that out, but I will shoot that link through to you. So confidence, 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 confidence. What I would like you to do is in the chat box there, if I said to you, what does confidence mean to you? I would love you to answer that question of simply confidence is, and then fill in the blank. So confidence is, and then fill in the blank. If you could do that for me, that would be great. Confidence is, what does it mean to you? And what do you think it is, essentially? What is confidence? Confidence is self-assurance. Cool. Trusting yourself. Cool. Comfortable in yourself. Cool. Others seeing you, possibly, yeah, Danny, possibly. I like it. I like it. Is freedom from judgment. Interesting, Helen. I like it. Confidence is peace and clarity and certainty in yourself. That's beautiful, Tiani. I want some of that. I want more of that. I want to live in that. That's really cool. All right. Trust in self. Interesting, Justin. I like it. I like it. So what I want to do is bring this confidence conversation down into the world of training and how training is really impacted by confidence, and confidence really impacts training. So what I kind of believe, and all of those things that you said, absolutely true. So in the world of training, though, I would postulate that confidence, and you may agree with this, you may not. I would say that confidence in the world of learning is the level of perceived capability and how far somebody can push themselves. So I'd like you to think about, as I let Jessica in here, that I would postulate that everybody walks into a training room with a level of perceived confidence about what they believe they are capable of doing or not capable of doing. Drop a yes in the chat if you kind of agree with that, right? So I walk into a room and I've already got a preconceived idea of what I'm capable of and what I'm not capable of, and also how I define myself as a learner, right? So when a student or human walks in, they're already at, maybe they're at a neutral, or maybe they're at -5 or even -10, or maybe they're at a 2 or a 5, or maybe even worse, they're overconfident, right? Maybe you've seen that in the past, right? But the interesting thing about confidence is that the dichotomy around confidence is also the idea that confidence is built from competence, right? And we've talked about this previously, but ultimately, if I want to be a great public speaker, we often find people that say, I can't public speak, I'm not confident. And then you say, well, have you ever done it? They're like, no, I'm not confident to do it. But it's only through doing it that you actually build confidence. And drop an R in the chat if you can relate to that, right? You only get confident at horse riding by actually riding the horse, right? And so we need to think about how can we strategically build confidence in other people, and how can we also build it in ourselves. But when we are delivering training, if we can strategically help someone build their confidence, they are going to stay in the game. Now, if they have a system meltdown, and what I mean by that is their confidence bubble gets completely destroyed and exploded, then they're not going to come back to training, and they're going to have a belief that they are just not good enough and they just can't handle it. In workshop 3, we actually talk about what's called the resignation cycle, about why and how somebody will completely quit on something in life and never come back to it. But one of the core things that we need to think about is somebody's perceived level of confidence will determine how far they go and how far they will grow. Drop a yes in the chat if that makes sense. Somebody's perceived level of confidence, how far they will go and how far they will grow, right? And we need to think about, as a trainer, how can we set up an environment where confidence is growing and people are staying in the game? And highly likely, if you ever have seen someone pull out of a training, it's because the environment hasn't been set up in a way that's conducive to that, or they've come in with a very, very low self-perception about what they are capable of actually doing. And back in workshop 1, we talked about the 2 different mindsets. You may remember that we had the growth mindset and fixed mindset. The caveat to that, the underpinning thing, is in order for somebody to actually move towards the growth mindset continually, there has to be an established already feeling or vibe or existence level of resilience. And also, if the environment doesn't actually promote confidence, then people can actually feel very stressed and they will fall back into the fixed mindset. And that's when the criticism, then negativity towards themselves or other people actually happens, right? So what I want to do now is give you 4 simple ways that you can strategically build confidence within a training environment. So you may want to grab a pen and get ready to write. And I call this section building confidence. And you probably want to grab a pen and write this down. And once you've written that down, building confidence, I'd love you to just drop an R in the chat for me if you could, please. Okay, cool. Awesome. So, the first thing that we want to think about is, and it's something we've already touched on a few times there, is scaffolding, right? Now, I don't know about you, but for me, if I'm pushed too far past my comfort zone, often I will crash and burn. And as a trainer, I'm very, 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 very sensitive to scaffolding. What I mean by that is I never want to push people too far beyond their learning zone or comfort zone. And that is simply going, okay, what is something that we can add in a little bit harder, a little bit harder, a little bit harder, but I'm always going to catch you and I'm going to reinforce the goodness and I'm going to layer on the praise. So the higher the level of difficulty, the more acknowledgement I'm going to bring into the situation. Just drop a yes in the chat if that makes sense. So I'm going to add a little bit harder, but each time it gets harder, my acknowledgement is going even stronger, right? And there's an amazing book that I think I mentioned back in workshop 1, which is called The Rise of Superman. And in that book, it talks about scaffolding very strongly, but in that book, it talks about raising a difficulty level approximately 4% each time. But anything more than that, then the system crashes, right? And that book looks at how do you get into a flow state. And in the book, it says a flow state is basically complexity and difficulty plus a sense of certainty mixed together. And when you've got that, then you've got the flow state. So challenge and support, interacting with each other at just the right amount, 4%, then you are good to go, right? So scaffolding is where it's at. And just think about how can I make it a little bit harder, but never so hard that they crash and burn. Now, the next one that we want to look at, number 2, is celebrate our own. What do you think the W might stand for, folks? Celebrate your own wins. Beautiful. Celebrate your own wins, right? Now, drop in the chat, why do you think we would want to celebrate our own wins, folks? Why do you think we'd want to celebrate our own wins? Why do you think we'd want to do that? Boost confidence, yeah. Reinforce ability, nice. Anchoring, oh, I love these ideas. I love it. Now, all of those are absolutely true. And fundamentally, they're all reasons I could list as well. Unfortunately, though, our brain does something funny. It deletes our successes faster than it focuses on our failures. Drop a yes in the chat if that makes sense to you folks, right? It will delete our successes faster than our failures, right? And at the end of the day, if we don't actually acknowledge our successes, then we don't actually have visibility on how far we're growing and what we're actually achieving. So this really ties back to the trainer journal that we talk about. So in order to actually build confidence, we need to look back and go, wow, how far have I come? If we're always looking to the horizon, we're going to forget about our past successes, right? But as humans, we're always thinking about where we haven't got to, but when we look at how far we've come, then we can start to really expand our self-perception and self-confidence, right? When you look back and go, wow, I just did that. Wow, I just did that. What? Oh my gosh, I did that. Wow, I had no idea that I was capable of doing that, right? Now, back in workshop 1, I encouraged you to watch a video that I did about growth versus learning, right? And a lot of people will say, I value growth. And then you say, okay, what's the latest challenge you've done, and what'd you learn through? And they're like, oh, I don't like challenges. I don't like that. But you said you like growth. You can't have growth unless you walk through challenges and then step back and go, wow, I just did that, right? So celebrating own wins is critically important, because then you create a track record of your own celebrations and successes there, which is really, really cool. Doesn't mean you need to go out and drink red wine every time you achieve something. However, just writing it down is an acknowledgement that makes all the difference. Now, tying it back to creating the environment there, folks, this leads to number 3. And number 3, it says celebrate others. What was that W word? Drop in the chat. Celebrate others. What? Beautiful. Other wins, right? Now, drop in the chat. why do you think we would want to get our learners to celebrate other people's wins? Why do you think we'd want to do that? Why do you think we'd want to celebrate other people's wins? And there's a couple of reasons for it. One that's a little bit of a strategic reason. Definitely it's going to build confidence, but there's a couple of reasons why. It creates a good vibe in the room, boosts confidence, focus on success. Yeah, nice. Cool. So Jessica's touched on something, creates a good vibe in the group, creates positivity. I'm liking what I'm seeing. All right, positive reinforcement. Excellent. So let me postulate, team. Do you think that maybe it would open up people's minds and maybe people are going to become even more open to new ideas as they celebrate others' successes? Drop a yes in the chat if you think that might be the case. People's minds are opening up, and yes, new standards are growing and the feeling in the room is raising, but also people are learning from each other and the entire team's standards are lifting. So this is a really important one because this sets a culture of growth as opposed to a culture of bringing people down, right? So in order to create a safe learning environment, we want to create an environment where everybody's learning from each other, and also positivity is the norm. Drop an A in the chat if you'd agree that that's probably a good thing, right? Positivity is the norm, and we don't tolerate any crap around here. Like, we're all going to be positive. We're going to lift each other up. Now, this is a really, really cool one for if you are ever experiencing any pockets of people holding things back, or pockets of people coming in with their own agendas. If you implement 2 and 3, it's really going to create an amazing vibe in the room, right? So now number 4 here coming down. Number 4 is one of my absolute favorites, and one of them that I use all of the time. So powerful, positive, reflective, if I can spell it there, and Q stands for questions. All right, so powerful, positive, reflective questions. All right, so I'm just going to give you a moment to write that down. So powerful, positive, reflective questions. And in the chat, I would love you to just drop in the letter P for positive, if you could, for me, please. Awesome. So in a learning environment, do we want to create a positive vibe or a negative vibe? Put in the full word if you could for me, please. Positive or a negative vibe? Just drop in the chat. We want a positive vibe, right? Now, tomorrow, we're going to look at language quite strongly there, and we're going to start to think about the vibe that we want to create in the room. And we're going to start to think about the questions that we can actually ask to get people to think about the positive, right? So I'm just going to go ahead on the screen there. I've got a bunch of questions that I've popped in there, right? So the first one is, what is the biggest thing that you have discovered or realized, right? Next one, what is getting easier for you? What are you getting even more comfortable doing? What are you discovering more than ever before? Drop a yes in the chat if you can see the positive presuppositions in these questions, folks. Cool. And what we need to realize is, and someone's already mentioned it today, that the quality of the question will determine the quality of the response that you get. We've already said that, right? So there's certain questions that if you asked it, you're going to open up Pandora's box. Now, it wasn't your intention to do that, but that's what's going to happen, right? So an example of that would be, for example, an example of that might be, how did you find that activity? Okay. Drop a drop a yes in the chat if you can see how that potentially could open up Pandora's box. All right. So we need to think about, well, what do you want people to actually focus on as you do your debrief, right? How'd you find that? Oh, I fucking hated it. Oh, that was terrible. I did horrible. I did blah, blah, right? And people are going to lean towards the negative as opposed to the positive, right? So definitely want to raise, what can be enhanced, so to speak, but we want to avoid questions that could allow people's thinking to go towards an area we don't necessarily think could be the most productive, right? So we want to raise the standards, raise the thinking, keep it positive, keep it beautiful, and keep the energy moving forward. So on that note, up till now, we've looked at positive, reflective questions and powerful ones, right? Then we came back and we had a look at celebrate others' wins. And by doing that, we strategically create an amazing culture there as well. We come back and number 2, we celebrate our own wins. And then on top of that, we definitely scaffold and really, really think about the old scaffolding. So on that note, you guys are going to head to a breakout room. And all I would love you to is simply share with your partner, what did you discover, what did you realize as we went through this conversation around building confidence in others and, by default yourself there as well. And even maybe the definition of confidence inside the training environment. On that note, folks, head to your rooms and I'll see you back. And Bridget, Danny, India, and Tiani, you guys may switch things up over to you. And everyone else, head to your rooms, have a chat. What did you discover? What did you realize? And I'll bring you back very shortly. Thanks, team. Awesome, man. I just changed things up a little bit there just to spice things up. Excellent. On that note, we're going to get people to speak on behalf of their group there. So I'm going to come over to, we got Callum, Daniel, and Helen there. I'm going to come over to Helen. And I'd love you to simply share what was one thing that was shared in your group that you thought was quite mentionable or quite noteworthy, or maybe a common theme, or something that really resonated with you personally. Helen, over to you. What you got? Conversation around confidence. Go for it, Helen. Speaking on behalf of your group there. Go for it.
Sure. We talked about the impact of the powerful, positive, reflective questions. It kind of sets a tone for only being able to create that positive vibe. It kind of eliminates, I guess it's more controlling the narrative, which can be beneficial in a number of different scenarios. So we really did like that part.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Everyone drop an N for narrative in the chat. That's phenomenal. I love it. And definitely it's something we talk about on Friday there with one of the archetypes that we are as a trainer that we step into. Awesome. I love that you picked that up. That's phenomenal. Really, really cool. We're going to come over to Kobe's group there. And Kobe, if you could speak on behalf of your group, that would be fantastic. What was shared in your group there? Go for it, Kobe. What you got?
Justin and I really resonated with scaffolding. I think it's not just that. I'll try and summarize what Justin was saying. It's also from a trainer's point of view, knowing how far to push your learner and having that skill on how much you give them at what stage, and if you need to, do it in different stages for different learners.
I love it. I love it. Well done. Good pick up, Justin, and great summary there, Kobe. Really, really cool. And we'll summarize and we'll acknowledge all at the end there. We got our next group, the Bridget, Danny, Jessica, and Tiani, and we had one more person in there as well. I'm going to go ahead and get Danny. If you could speak on behalf of the people that were in your room there, that would be great. Go for it, Danny. What was that thing that came up with you?
So we had quite a few different takes from that. So everybody here had a little bit of something different. So maybe more, some people don't, or they need to celebrate their wins more. Some people are really good at celebrating their wins already. So that is awesome for them. And we can take bits and pieces from them. I personally talked about how you're speaking my language was with the positivity. So that is me within Firecom. I'm the building people up, not tearing people down. So that's what really hit with me. And just, so it was mostly celebrating each other's wins, keeping it positive, and really using good questions and changing that, as mentioned before, narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Hitting the wide. I put that on purpose there. I like it. I like it. Awesome. Very cool. Everyone, drop a GW in the chat for great work, and let's acknowledge those awesome shares there. Really, really powerful. Excuse me. Now, what I'd love you to do is just drop an overall positive emotion. You do an emoji, or you can do it in a word. How do for you with that section there around confidence? Did you get some value from it? Did it help? Is there something you're taking away from it? Drop a positive emoji in the chat. Response, yeah, we got some sunglasses going on there. For me, trainers, when they really embrace this, everything transforms in the room, right? And the trainers that are not aware of this, you feel the eek in the room, and you can start to see why people walk away at lunchtime or breaks, and they start to go, oh, I'm not sure about that environment. And as we talked about on day one, who sets the vibe, folks? Drop in the chat. Who sets the vibe? It is the teacher. It's the trainer. It's the facilitator. They are responsible for setting the vibe, raising the standard, and making sure that it's an environment conducive to powerful, positive success, right? So on that note, by my clock there, it's coming up to 8:47, 8:50. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and we're going to come back at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, we're going to practice something, and then we're going to have prep time for people to work on their presentations for today, and you may appreciate that. And during that time, you can send through your slides if you need to, if you want to, if you haven't already done to, or if I need to get to someone's presentation that you've already sent me, I'll jump onto that as well. So not yet, but in a moment, we're going to come back at 9 o'clock and practice something, and we'll go from there. Thanks so much, team. I'll see you back here at 9 o'clock. Good swim. Cool. Thank you. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. Just waiting for people to slowly come back there. Drop P in the chat once you're back. Awesome. Well done. Well done. Just waiting on a couple more people there. Hopefully, they're all okay there. And sometimes people pop in a P, but they forget to turn the cameras off, and that happens there as well. And that's totally okay. So, on that note, welcome back, team. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. So I'm going to go ahead and not yet bring up my notes, but what I would love you to do is drop in the chat. What's one learning? What key insight have you discovered so far from this morning? Drop in the chat. What's something that's really stood out to you? Could be anything at all in regards to the confidence conversation. Drop in the chat. Let's fire up the neural pathways there. Danny said just having tech issues, no dramas at all. Celebrate my wins even more. Absolutely, absolutely. Really, really cool. And really cool thing to celebrate was to instigate at home as well in the home environment. 4% increase in difficulty. Very cool. And you may want to check out that book, Rise of Superman. Definitely a great book there. Excellent. Celebrate win of self and others. Very cool. Positive, powerful, reflexive questions. Excellent scaffolding, challenge, and support. Definitely that's where it's at, right? That's the tension of where growth actually takes place, right? And I was looking for an image this morning to kind of define what confidence really looks like. But I used to have on my first company I used to run, which is called Inner Potential Management. I love the name of that company. Inner Potential Management, where basically the idea is someone's kind of got an orb or a shield or kind of a glow that's coming out of them, and it goes so far, but it sort of stops at a certain point. And I think beyond that point is perceived to be beyond their capability zone. Just drop a yes in the chat that kind of resonates with you. It's like I got a perception about I'm comfortable to this point, but beyond that, I'm like, fuck no way I can handle it, right? And having said that, sometimes we do need to put ourselves in intense scenarios to see what we are actually capable of. And that's where the idea of boot camps and different things happen. But even at boot camps, for example, if you push someone too far, then they eject from the scenario, right? And that's why I, regularly do martial arts, because I like to push myself outside my comfort zone a little bit. Situational dependent. Yeah, absolutely, Justin. So true, right? And at the end of the day, sometimes we need to apply a little bit of pressure to see what we are capable of. But then we also need to create the, catching net or the sponge to fall back on and provide the feedback to then reinforce what people need to hear. And they go, yeah, we're actually capable of so much, right? So on that note, we're going to come down to the phrases that we looked at yesterday there, right? So we had these phrases. Drop a yes in the chat if you can see the phrases there on the screen. And excellent. All right, cool. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to drop these in the chat, and I'm going to drop them in the chat for you, right? Now, everybody picks up these phrases at a different rate, which is totally fine, right? Everyone picks up the phrases at a different rate. Excuse me. So what we want to now do is really contextualize them, because as I talked about in workshop 1, there are 4 stages to learning anything, right? So the first one, we've got exposure, we've got practice, we've got personalization, then the last one is application, right? As you guys would remember. What we're going to do now is not yet, but in a moment, we're going to do a little bit of practice and personalization. Now, the first one that we're going to look at here is grab a pen and write this down. And what we're going to do, we're just going to check in with some people, and you're going to use the phrase, but you're going to tie it into your content today. So for example, if you're talking about tunnels, which I don't think anyone is, you're going to use the phrase, grab a pen and write this down. There are 3 tunnels in Brisbane. Just making that up. It's absolutely not true, I don't think. But you're going to simply unmute yourself and say, grab a pen and write this down. There are 3 tunnels in Queensland. And nobody's going to actually do anything with that, but you're just going to make an example based on your content from today. And the more that we do this, the more it's going to be part of what you actually deliver today, which would be awesome, right? So not yet, but in a moment, we're going to come over to, we'll come over to Callum first of all, and he's going to use an example from his presentation today or his topic today, just thinking off the cuff, and he's going to use an example from using grab a pen and write this down. He's just going to totally make it up on the spot here, and yeah, we'll go with that. Callum, over to you. Use the phrase, grab a pen and write this down, and then tell us something to write down, but we're not going to write it down, of course. Callum, over to you. Go for it.
Okay, grab a pen and write this down. Firecom's service delivery target, time from answering a 000 call to dispatching appliances, is under 120 seconds.
Nice. I like it. I like it. Everyone drop an AJ in the chat. That was pretty awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well done. Grab a pen, write this down under XYZ seconds. Good job. Love it. All right, we'll come over to our next person. India, go ahead. Something from your topic. Grab a pen and write this down. Tell us an example. Go for it.
Oh, okay. Give me 2 seconds.
All right, cool. Everyone write down. Give me 2 seconds.
I'm just looking for my statistic. Okay, well, let's just go with this. All right, guys, grab a pen and write this down. There are 2 different radio networks that we utilize throughout the Queensland Fire Department. Analog radio, which works on VHF and UHF, and the Global Wireless Network, which is GWN.
Excellent. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well done. And we'll acknowledge everyone at the end. That was pretty awesome. I love it. Grab a pen and write it down. There's 2 networks, blah and blah. Excellent. Love it. We're going to come to our next person. We're going to come over to Jessica and give us an example. Grab a pen and write it down. Go for it, Jessica.
Yeah. Hello. I'm sorry, I'm still having some technical difficulties, so I'm using Danny's laptop. Grab a pen and write this down. There are 9 auxiliary stations in Brisbane.
Nice. There you go. That's nice. Very cool. Very cool. Love it. There are 9. Who would have thought? There's 9. Excellent. So next we're going to move on to our next one. Would you agree that? So would you agree that blah, blah, and come up with your own example? Danny, over to you. Would you agree that? Go for it.
Okay. Would you agree that only having 1 river crossing and rail network within Brisbane is a problem?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, sorry. I had my answer for the first one, and then you completely threw me off, but we are adaptable. Nailed it. Thank you.
Yes, we are.
I like it. All right. And as we head into this one, we will get people to respond. So would you agree that having 1 thing that she just said there would be a problem? Everyone drop a yes in the chat if you would agree with that, and we'll get some audience participation going there as well. Excellent. Daniel, go ahead. Give us a would you agree that. Go for it.
All right. Look, would you agree that's one of the top mistakes a beginner can make when answering a 000 call would be to not remain calm?
Boom! Mic drop. Very cool. I like it. All good. And this is the fun part about it. We get to throw something out there and it misfires and we go, okay, cool. And we learn from that. Even back in workshop 1, there was one that I threw out to the crew here and it didn't really fire. It didn't exactly land, but that's okay. I learned from that and then I finessed it going forward, right? And we'll talk about that on Friday with personality types, right? So cool. Let's go to our next one. Tiani, would you agree that? Go for it.
Would you agree that in Queensland alone, fire communications officers answered 28,482 permit calls for 2024?
Ooh, fancy, fancy, fancy. I like the number. Very cool, very cool, very cool. I like it. All right, let's jump to our next one. Would it be a problem if, and we'll come over to Callum. Go for it. Give us a would it be a problem if.
Would it be a problem if FCOs didn't ask relevant questions on a 000 call?
Nice. Very cool, very cool. Justin, give us a would it be a problem if.
Would it be a problem if nudges were an insult to human agency?
Ooh. You kind of need to know the topic to be able to answer that, but definitely I like it. I like it. I like it. Awesome. All right. So the next one we've got there is the biggest thing I want you to take away from this slide is, and I think that's fairly self-evident there. Next one is before I move on, let me check in. So before I move on, let me check in. What were the 3 pillars to successful training, right? I'll get everyone to answer that one. Before I move on, let me check in. What are the 3 pillars to successful training? Drop in the chat. Anyone remember? Hopefully you do. If you haven't, remember that. I am in some hot water. We had rapport. We had the next, all over it. Good work, team. So not yet, but in a moment, you guys are going to head to a breakout room. What you are going to do is simply go around your group there, and you are going to, let me just shake things up a little bit. And I think we had someone that we need to assign there as well. Cool. And let me bring that up. Okay, so you're going to head to a breakout room, and you are going to practice these phrases, but based on the content that you are covering today. So I'm going to drop that in there. So what you're going to do is each person's going to have a go. They're going to say, grab a pen and write this down, and you're going to pick a thing from your presentation today. Next, would you agree that example from your presentation today? Would it be a problem if? Biggest thing I want to take away from before I move on, let me check in, then come up with a thing and just do that, right? So you're going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth between each member. Bridget, Danny, Jessica, and Tiana, you guys can pair up as appropriate. And I simply want you to play with the phrases. And if you veer off your topic, that's totally okay too. But we just want to make these phrases part of your lexicon and how you think. And one thing I will just refine, if that's okay, just if you're okay with it, and just allow me to expedite your learning. This phrase here, just something I want to pick on, so to speak. Grab a pen and write this down. And you probably want to grab a pen and write this down, and you'll start to now hear me use it all the time. But with the grab a pen and write this down, I just want you to get very conscious of how much you're actually getting people to write down. What I mean by that is, think about what you actually want someone to remember. And if I can just pick on one person, just for one of the examples that we had someone that said, grab a pen and write this down. There are 2 networks. There's 2 radio networks, and one of them's called this. And there was a couple of sentences that was added. Then there was a little bit more, and they talked about this thing. And it kind of went on a little bit long, so to speak. And from that little segment there, probably what I would summarize it down to is, grab a pen and write this down. There is 2 networks. Grab a pen and write down. There's 2 networks. First network is called blah. Second one is called blah. And that's how I would come and summarize that section. Drop a yes in the chat if that makes sense there, folks, because you've really got to understand people can't remember as much as we think, and you've got to calibrate how much you actually want people to like walk away and remember. And that way, then you can breach down to, before I move on, let me check in. How many networks were there? 2. Good job. Well done, Mary, right? So just be aware of that, and just be aware that the more you say, the more they're going to forget. And I think that's a good thing to put on a t-shirt. So not yet, but in a moment, you head to a breakout room. Simply play with these phrases. First person does an example. Next person does an example with the same phrase. So you're going to work on, grab a pen and write this down. Would you agree that? Would it be a problem if? Biggest thing I want you to take away from this slide is, make it up. Before I move on, let me check in. And on that note, just to give you guys some clarity with order there, Callum, I'll get you to go first in your group. Justin, you go first. Bridget, you go first. Jessica, you go first. Daniel, you go first. So you do your thing, then swap over, other person has a go. Next one, next one, next one, next one. And if that's clear for you, drop a C. If you got a question, drop a Q. But I think you guys are rocking and rolling, good to go. I'll bring you back in about 2 minutes. Awesome. Well done, team. Well done. Well done. Well done. If your partner did a pretty hot job, drop a yes in the chat. Let them know they did a pretty awesome job. Beautiful. All right, cool. So now, amazing. I like it. Beautiful. What I'd love you to do is drop in the chat what was one of the phrases that your partner absolutely nailed, smashed out of the park, did a home run on. Let us know which one did they really, really do well on. I'm sure they did well on all of them, but drop in the chat which was one that I really, really did well on. I'd love to hear that. I'd love you to share that. That'd be awesome. Yeah, nice. Nice, nice. Ooh, I like it. I like it. I like it. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, would you agree with that? Awesome. Okay, cool. So, well done, well done. If you got some value from that practice, drop a V in the chat. Let me know you got some value there. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, cool. So, the next segment that we're going to go into is a little bit advanced, but I know you guys are ready for it, right? And for me, I guess I want to introduce you into a concept. And how much you take away from this section is going to be totally up to you, and wherever you're at with it is totally fine. So I guess I want to introduce you to a thing that sort of takes you from, how do I put this, bland to engaging, right? So do you want to be an engaging trainer or a bland trainer? Drop a B or an E in the chat box for me if you could, please. Beautiful, right? So you want to be engaging as much as you can, right? Now, there is this thing in life where essentially people need to know certain information at a particular time and in a particular way, right? And so the thing I'm going to share with you now, and I'm doing it with you right now, is we need to appreciate there's actually 4 types of learners. This is something we dive really deep into in my advanced course that's happening in December. But drop in the chat the number 4 if you could for me, please. There's 4 types of learners. There's 4 types of humans out there on the planet. And there are actually 4 types. And this is some research that was done by a lady called Bernice McCartney. And she looked at different humans, how they learned, and she actually found there's 4 bits of information people need. They need to know the why they're learning something, the what are they learning something, how they're going to use the thing, and they're also going to wonder how could they adapt the information. Why, the what, the how, and the what if. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop this into the chat box for me if you and you guys can write it down. So we got why, what, how, what if. 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 Why, what, how, what if, right? And what I want to share with you is a fundamental concept around training and presenting. This is going to be a shift for you, and it will help you present content in a way that's going to get people sitting on the edge of their seat a little bit more and leaning into what you've got to say even more. Okay. So once you've written that down, just drop an R in the chat, and that'll be great if you could do that. Awesome. Okay. So when we look at this, there are 4 types of learners. There's why people, there's what people, there's how people, and there's what if people. Each of these 4 types of people have different needs, wants, and desires, and they need to hear information in a particular order. If they don't get it in a particular order, then they get a little bit frustrated. And from this list here, which type of learner is coming first, folks? Which type of learner is coming first? Cool. The why learner. Yep. All right. And there's a number of reasons for that. And we'll go through that at another time, or you can buy my book. But anyway, so we got the why learners, right? Now we got the what, then the how, and the what if people, right? The issue is that often when we don't know this structure, and I'll tell you the name of the structure, it's called the format structure, format. All right. Just so I know that you got that, just type format in the chat box for me if you could, please. Just type format. Beautiful. Format. Beautiful. And format, I'll drop this in the chat there for you, and you can definitely look it up. But essentially, the core thing that we need to remember is that many times people leave out the why completely. They don't even touch on it, right? or they leave the why to the very end. I don't know. Have you ever seen someone do that? Like they'll tell you all the information, then at the very end, they'll say, oh, you need to know this because. Drop a yes in the chat. Have you ever seen that happen? Like they'll tell you a war story at the end and they'll go, this is why you need to know it. It's like, well, dude, you could have told me at the very beginning. Feels like a hostage. Yeah, absolutely, right? So we need to appreciate that at the end of the day, sometimes people leave it out or they put it at the wrong place or they potentially will change the why and the what order and it doesn't have the right impact, right? So we need to start to think, okay, how can I put it in the right order and how can I make it have the biggest impact possible? So I'm now going to give you two versions of reality. You can tell me which one's better, right? So let's pick the world of WHS and safety because it's a very common scenario that people mess up, right? So here's the deal. I'm going to give you version one. Hi, folks. Today we're going to talk about WHS and safety. We're going to talk about PPE. We're going to talk about laws and legislations. And it's going to be a little bit dull and boring, but bear with me as we go through it. And, we'll get the job done. All right, so that's version one. Version two is, hi, folks. Today we're going to talk about something that's going to be super empowering. It's going to help you know exactly what to do if you ever get injured at work. It's going to help you at work keep your company out of the court system, make sure that you personally never have to face a fine or that you can reduce the chance that you're ever going to have an injury at work. Folks, let's jump into some PPE and some WHS so that you feel equipped and empowered to know exactly how to maximize your safety in the workplace. Folks, drop a 1 or a 2 in the chat. Which one's better for you? Let me know. Yeah, absolutely. It's a no-brainer. It's number 2, right? Now, there are a number of different ways that we can build a why, right? And that's a big conversation for another day. But we can build a why by telling a story. Everyone, drop an S for story in the chat box for me if you could, please. Drop an S in the chat for story, right? And the other way that we can build a why is we can ask questions, right? We can ask questions. So, for example, raise your hand if you would like to have a lot more money in your life and a lot more peace and tranquility. Raise your hand, right? So you can be a very overt like that. You can definitely ask a question, right? Such as, would you like a way to be able to be even more engaging in a training room? So you can definitely do that. Or you can lay out the benefits, such as, we're going to jump into content that will allow you to do this, this, and this, right? Now, the other thing that you can do is what we call consequence, that I can't spell, consequence mapping, all right? So everyone drop a C in the chat for consequence, right? All right, cool. So what we often find is that people jump into the what too soon and they don't touch on the why at all. Now, consequence mapping is essentially very similar to what we talked about with the problems. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at the benefits, but also the consequences. Now that I share this with you, like, oh, Mark just did it. Oh, Mark just did it. Oh, I just thought Mark do it, right? So what we want to think about is that there are two parts of our human brain. We have our logic and we have our emotion. Our logic and our emotion, right? So everyone drop an L and an E in the chat box for me, please, right? We need to be very good at being able to motivate two sides of a human's brain, right? And we can motivate people by the positive or the negative. We can motivate them by the logic or the emotion. Now, if you say to me, Mark, why do you go to the gym? Why do you go to the gym? All right, I do go. Mark, why do you go to the gym? And my response will be, well, I don't want to end up like my dad that had emphysema and was obese and died because he had a heart condition. In that case, folks, drop in the chat. Am I motivated by the negative or the positive? Drop in the chat. Am I negative? Yeah, beautiful. Kobe nailed it, right? Now, if I said, well, so Mark, why do you go to the gym? And then I said, oh, because I want to look like Mark Wahlberg. He's amazing. He's good looking and he gets all the chicks, right? In that case, am I motivated by the positive or the negative, folks? Yeah, beautiful, right? Unfortunately, or fortunately, everyone in our audience is either motivated by either the positive or the negative, but we never know which one somebody is leaning towards more than another. So if we say to someone, why did you join Firecom? They go, oh, well, yeah, I'm so excited to take 000 calls, right? Positive. I joined because I want to get away from the blah, blah, and I want to get away from the stress of blah, blah. Drop a yes in the chat if you can hear the contrasting examples that you may get, right? So in order to actually motivate people, we need to speak to both, right? So not yet, but in a moment, not yet, but in a moment, what I need you to do is, and I don't know if we can do it on technical capabilities, but what I would like you to do is everybody, could you send me a private message in the chat for me if you could, please, and just say test, just say test if you could for me, please. Just send me a private message and hopefully you know how to do that. But just click yeah, awesome, and I'll get everyone keep doing that. Yep, beautiful. Cool. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I just need one more. Oh, you guys have nailed that. Awesome. Cool. Cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop a word into the chat. Now, for the people that are in the same room, please don't share the word that I've given you. Please don't. See if it works. If it doesn't, that's okay. We'll just do the exercise anyway. So the next one is laptop. Cool. Next one. Cool. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think maybe one more person hasn't dropped a message or a chat in there. Not sure who it is, but that's okay. That's all right. That person will be able to catch up, and that'll be okay there. So on that note, what we need to appreciate is that sometimes people will jump to the what too soon. Well, they'll jump to the what too soon. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to demonstrate an activity to you. So I'm going to play with the idea of a paperclip, okay? So drop a yes in the chat if I've given you a word and you've remembered what the word is. Danny's got a word. Awesome. All right, cool. Bridget. Okay, cool. It's, yeah, awesome. Bridget's got a word. Beautiful. I think maybe Justin hasn't got his word. Not sure. Yeah, cool. Justin, yeah, cool. So we'll make sure that we'll make sure that Justin's got his word, which is going to be this word here. Cool. All right. Awesome. Didn't come through yet. Excellent. Right. So you've all got your word. Now, what we need to appreciate is, as I said, benefit and consequence. Now, as I said, there's multiple different ways to build a why. Now, this activity, again, is going to be exaggerated. Everyone drop an E for exaggerate in the chat. And again, this is not the way that we do it every time, but I'm just inviting you into an idea and a concept. And you're like, this sounds like sales. Well, it only sounds like sales if you're doing it the same way every single time and you're being too overt around it, right? And cool, Bridget. Yeah, cool. All right, got it. So what's going to happen now is we got the thing, which is paperclip, right? So I'm going to demonstrate what I'm going to do, and then you guys are going to guess what the thing is, which is the paperclip clip. I've already told you, right? So it's going to sound like this, right? So All right, folks, today I want to talk to you about something really, really powerful that you can use in your office. If you have this thing, then you can easily collate pieces of paper. If you have this thing, you can also flip it around and actually use it to hang things from the wall. And also, if you have this thing, you can actually play with it while you're sitting through a boring workshop. Now, if you don't have this thing, you may find that you lose papers quite easily in your office. If you don't have it, you may find that you are just at the photocopier and you're always just wishing you had one of these things. And also, if you don't have it, you are like, oh, sitting in the car, just about to walk into an important meeting, and all of your papers just go everywhere. Folks, what is it? What could that thing be? Drop in the chat. What's the thing that I'm talking about? Drop in the chat. Yeah, paperclip. Excellent. Paperclip, guys. You got it, right? So in that moment, what I was looking to do was build benefits and consequences. But did I say the thing straight away? Did I say it yes or no, folks? Did I say what the thing was? The answer is no, right? But what I did is I mapped out the benefits and the consequences. I just thought of it right then on the spot. So not yet, but in a moment. That's what you're going to do, right? So I think the first one that I gave, I think somebody had a something, and I'm going to come over to Callum. Now, Callum is not yet, but in a moment, he's going to use the same sort of structure there. And he's going to say, if you have this thing, you're able to do this, this, and this, and this. If you don't have this thing, then you may not be able to do this, this, and this, and this, right? And all he's going to do is map it out, and everybody else, if you can guess what the thing is, drop in the chat once he's done, and all he's going to do, map out the benefits and map out the consequences. So he's going to say, hi, folks. Today I want to talk to you about this thing, and if you have it, you can do this, this, and this, and this. If you don't have it, you won't be able to do this, this, and this, and this. And Callum, over to you. Go for it. Hi, folks.
Hi, folks. If you have this thing, you'll be able to communicate with your friends and family and co-workers, no matter where you are. You'll be able to stay connected. You'll be able to navigate. If you don't have this thing, you're missing out on a vital lifeline, and your options for contacting people are limited.
That was, excuse the language, awesome. I would love to drop an F word right now. That was freaking amazing. Everyone drop some A in the chat for amazing, because that's exactly what I want. So well said. Delivered exquisitely. Beautiful. Well done. Well done. Helen, we're going to come over to you. Helen, you're going to do exactly what he just did, but your own thing. And we're going to guess what your thing is there. Helen, over to you. If you have this thing, you can blah, 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 blah. If you don't, you can blah, blah, and you will suffer. Excellent. Helen, over to you. Go for it.
If you have this thing, you can do admin work from almost anywhere. If you have this thing, you can thank Steve Jobs for that. If you don't have this thing, you could perhaps use the Android version. If you don't have this thing, you will be lugging lots of paperwork around, unfortunately.
Nice. No one's got it yet. No one's got it yet. Oh, Callum got it. Nailed it. Well done. Well done. Well done. Everyone, drop a G in the chat for great, because that was pretty great. I loved it. Well done. We're going to come over to Kobe. Kobe, go ahead. I can't even remember what your thing is, but Kobe, go ahead. Unmute yourself. Today I want to tell you about a thing. If you have the thing, blah, blah. Go for it, Kobe. What you got?
My thing is absolutely amazing. If you have this thing, you're going to have a lovely hit of energy. Your house is going to smell amazing while you're making this thing. And if you don't have this thing, you're going to look pretty boring at a cafe sitting with your friends.
Boom. Helen, got it. Got it. Love it. Well done. Well done. Justin, over to you. Go for it. Tell us about your thing. Go for it, Justin.
G'day, team. If you had this thing, you would be able to travel. If you had this thing, you would be able to identify who you are. If you had this thing, you would be able to go between borders in certain countries. And if you didn't have this thing, you wouldn't be able to travel at all.
Nice work. Nice work. Nice work. Very impressed. Very impressed. Very cool. Very cool. Everyone, drop a C for cool in the chat because that was awesome. Love it. Bridget, over to you. Tell us about your thing. Go for it, Bridget. What you got?
Good morning. If you have this thing, you'll be able to assist with relieving pain and inflammation by reducing it at the source. If you don't have this thing, your pain or fever may not be relieved or inflammation may not be reduced.
Oh, Tiani, very cool, very cool. I like it. I like it. It kind of reminded me of a Chemist Warehouse commercial, but it was awesome. I love it. I love it. Panadol. That's where it's at, and excellent. All right, cool. Danny, over to you. Go for it, Danny.
Okay. If you had this thing, you could work in your office. If you had this thing, you could work while you're at home. If you had this thing, you could do emails, streaming, and searching the World Wide Web. If you didn't have this thing, you'd be lugging around a really big box to plug in to a PowerPoint somewhere.
Very cool, very cool. Love it. And we got some winners there on laptop. Excellent, love it. Drop an A for awesome, everyone. Really, really well done. Excellent. And we're going to come over to Jessica next. And Jessica, go ahead and tell us your thing. Go for it, Jessica. I think we've already done Jessica. No, we haven't done it. Go for it, Jessica. Over to you.
Sorry. If you have this thing, you will have a way to be able to relax and ground yourself. If you don't have this thing, you may find that you're more stressed and you may find that your mind is racing more than usual.
I like it. I like it. Now, I don't judge this on whether whether people get it or not. I actually like it when there's a little bit of curiosity that's created as well. So if people get it, great. If they don't, and there's more curiosity, fantastic. That's a great byproduct of it as well. Nice, nice. I like it. I like it. That's really cool. Everyone, drop a F for fantastic in the chat. And the actual answer there was meditation there. Very cool. Very cool. And next one, India, over to you. And go for it, India. What have you got?
So my item is a bit of a book. I feel like it's definitely more prevalent in earlier generations. I don't think my generation really does it that or would have it that much. But basically, it's just a collection of captured memories and times. Yes.
Nice. And if you have it, what can you do?
Look at it whenever you get nostalgic.
Nice. Nice. And if you don't have it?
If you don't have it, you can't do that. You can't remember things.
Nice, nice. People have dropped in the photo album. I like it. Simplicity, excellent. I like it. Generational connections, beautiful. And let's come to our next person. I think our next person might be Daniel. Go for it. Have some fun with that one, Daniel. Go for it.
Hi, folks. If you have this thing, then you can stay up to date with the latest news. If you have this thing, then you can enjoy entertainment whenever you're looking at this thing. If you have this thing, you can host events included looking at this thing. If you don't have this thing, you won't be able to watch your favorite entertainment.
Nice, and you might miss out on the grand final. Love it, team. Well done, well done. That was a TV. Excellent. Drop an A for awesome in the chat. That was pretty good. Love it. And I think that may be everyone except, I think, yes, we have our next person, Tiani. Go ahead. If you have this thing, you can. If you don't have the thing, you can't. Tiani, over to you. Go for it.
Hello, everybody. People have walked miles to obtain one of these things. They're not overly expensive. So if you had one, you could enjoy Russian caravan, peppermint green, or maybe an Brazilian bean in a very hot environment or hot way. If you did not have one of these, there may be work injuries, both mentally and physically in the workplace, as people are not coping with their daily duties. This is generally something people like to obtain early in the morning, but in order to get that, they may need to boil something. And if your noodles are not cooked, you may need a pot instead of a.
Kobe got it.
Good job.
Well done. Well done. All right. If everyone's had a go, drop a yes in the chat. If you're not yet had a go, drop a NY in the chat. And let's just see who has had a go, who has not. And let's just go through it. Excellent. Everyone's dropping an AJ. Nice. If you have had a go, if you are not yet, drop an NY. But excellent, excellent, excellent. Alrighty, folks, go ahead. We have sort of really looked at a big chunk of content there. We looked at the format model. We've looked at different ways to build a why, and we looked at consequence mapping, and we looked at if you do, if you don't, and all that fun stuff there. And we looked at this structure: why, what, how, what if, why, what, how, what if, why, what, how, what if. What I would love you to is drop in the chat, what did you discover, what did you realize as we went through this conversation around the format model, and what really came up for you there as we went through that. And just drop in the chat, what did you discover, what did you realize. Go for it, team. Better positive motivation for why than negative. Sometimes, not always, India, not always. It's generally around a 60-40 kind of split, positive to the 60-40 to the negative as well. But yeah, definitely more so positive. How engaged you starting with a why is awesome, Callum. I love it. Great pickup. Provide benefits and consequences to learn and understand why. Yeah, awesome. Love it. Just going to heart some of these because these are some really great insights and discoveries. It's a great way to support framing and opening. Oh, Justin, it certainly is, sir. Speak to the positive and negative. Yeah, excellent, excellent. Cool. Use of positive and negative for the why. Awesome. Bring the why. Excellent. All right. And cool. Sets the why. Yeah, nice. Build out the why and the benefits. Yeah, tell a story. Awesome. Alrighty, folks, drop a V for value. If you got some value from that little exercise, that activity, and this is kind of building the foundations for something for tomorrow. This is the format structure, and just to be honest, this was a structure that I learned at my very first public speaking course back in 2009. This is a structure that I use every single presentation. And the more you sort of listen to me, the more you're going to hear it in certain aspects. There is a lot to the format structure, and we could spend 3 or 4 days just studying format. But if the biggest thing you take away from this conversation is that you need to start with the why first, that will make me a very, very happy trainer. And all I want to encourage you to do is start to think now as you travel into your presentations today. Oops, I'm about to do a what section. So before I do the what section, I probably want to tell them the drop in the chat. What do we want to say before the what? What comes before the what? The why. Awesome, right? Now, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Just to expand your thinking even more in the structure that I taught you. Let's see if you have the aha moment. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Can you see? It's going to be an advanced question, but now maybe you're about to have an aha moment. In the group session, group structure, and also the individual structure formula that I've given you, what are you now discovering? Maybe a correlation between format and the individual structure, and maybe the how section with the steps. What aha moment are you now possibly having? Is there a possibility that the format structure is underpinning the individual structure that I've actually given you? Drop a yes if you've now had that aha. It aligns to how people learn. Beautiful, right? Welcome to the science of it all, right? So just absolutely makes sense now. Oh, very cool, very cool, very cool. Welcome to my world, right? So the individual structure, when I told you, it's not random. It's all tying back to this, right? The 6 steps that falls into the how section, right? The what section, that's your little what section, and the why. Yeah, it's all beautifully crafted together. The takeaway section, the question time, that is the what if time, right? So that's all you need to know for now. But on that note, hopefully you got some value from that segment around format. It's definitely advanced, but I wanted to bring it in here because you guys are really quick on picking things up and you're really coachable. And what I mean by that is you deploy things really quickly. So I don't normally teach this segment unless an audience is ready for it, right? So on that note, by my clock, it's 9:50. We are going to take a break and we are going to come back at 10:40, folks. 10:40. Everyone, can you drop a 10:40 in the chat for me there? And we're going to take the next segment for preparation for your presentation, right? So during the time, if you want to send me your slides, great. If you do, great. If you don't, that's okay. I'll take a look at your slides. If you want to keep working on your slides, definitely do. The next 10 until 10:40 is your time, and then we'll start presenting from 10:45, and that'll be great. On that note, I'll see you back here at 10:45. I'm going to turn my screen off and you will do your thing. Thanks, team. I'll see you back here at 10:40.